circumstances became difficult. Her faith was not based on complete understanding. It was based on trust. This trust would soon face its greatest challenge. Chapter 13. The Final Days. As Jesus entered Jerusalem during Passover, large crowds welcomed him. Many believed he would establish a powerful kingdom. They celebrated his arrival, but events quickly changed. Religious authorities viewed Jesus as a threat. Plans were made to arrest him. One evening, Jesus shared a final meal with his disciples. Soon afterward, he was arrested. The following hours brought betrayal, accusations, and trials. Mary witnessed the growing injustice. The son she loved was mocked, beaten, and condemned. For any mother, such suffering would be unbearable. Yet Mary remained near. She did not abandon him. She stayed present during the darkest moments. Chapter 14. The Cross. The most painful chapter of Mary's life had arrived. Jesus was forced to carry a cross through the streets of Jerusalem. Crowds gathered. Some mourned, others mocked. Mary watched as her son struggled beneath the weight. Eventually, Jesus was crucified. Near the cross stood Mary. She remained there despite overwhelming grief. The prophecy of Simeon was being fulfilled. A sword truly pierced her soul. According to the Gospel of John, Jesus looked down from the cross and saw Mary standing nearby. Even during his suffering, he thought of her. He entrusted her care to his beloved disciple. This touching moment reflects the deep bond between mother and son. As darkness covered the land, Jesus died. For Mary, the loss was unimaginable. The child she had carried, protected, and loved was gone. Chapter 15. The Tomb. After the crucifixion, Jesus' body was placed in a tomb. The disciples were devastated. Fear and uncertainty filled their hearts. Mary shared their grief. The hopes of many seemed shattered. The future appeared uncertain. Yet the story was not over. For 3 days, silence filled Jerusalem. Then everything changed. Chapter 16. The Resurrection. According to the Gospels, Jesus rose from the dead. The resurrection became the central event of Christian faith. Death had not won. Hope had not ended. Life had triumphed. Although the Gospels do not specifically describe Mary's reaction, many Christians believe she shared in the joy of the resurrection. The sorrow of the cross was transformed by the promise of new life. The mission announced by Gabriel decades earlier had reached its fulfillment. The child born in Bethlehem had changed the world. Chapter 17. Mary and the Early Church. After Jesus' resurrection and ascension, Mary remained with his followers. The book of Acts mentions her among the believers gathered in prayer. She became part of the early Christian community. Chapter 9. The Boy in the Temple. Years passed, and Jesus grew in wisdom and understanding. Mary and Joseph raised him in Nazareth, teaching him the traditions and values of their faith. When Jesus was 12 years old, the family traveled to Jerusalem for the Passover festival. After the celebration, Mary and Joseph began their journey home. But soon they realized something terrifying. Jesus was missing. Imagine the fear any parent would feel. They searched among relatives and travelers, but Jesus was nowhere to be found. For 3 long days, they searched Jerusalem. Finally, they discovered him in the temple. He was sitting among teachers and religious scholars. Everyone was amazed by his understanding and answers. Mary asked why he had caused them such worry. Jesus replied that he must be in his Father's house. Although Mary did not fully understand his words, she kept them in her heart. This moment offered a glimpse of the extraordinary mission that lay ahead. Chapter 10. The beginning of Jesus' ministry. For many years, the Gospels remain largely silent about Mary's life. Then, when Jesus reached adulthood, a new chapter began. Jesus started his public ministry. He traveled throughout the region, teaching, healing, and sharing messages of hope. One of the first recorded events involving Mary occurred at a wedding in Cana. The celebration faced an embarrassing problem. The hosts ran out of wine. Mary noticed the situation. She approached Jesus and informed him of the need. At first, Jesus seemed hesitant. Yet Mary turned to the servants and spoke words that remain famous today. "Do whatever he tells you." Jesus then performed his first public miracle. Water was transformed into wine. The guests were amazed. The wedding celebration continued. For many believers, this event demonstrates Mary's trust in Jesus and her concern for others. Chapter 11. Following the mission. As Jesus' ministry expanded, crowds gathered wherever he went. Some saw him as a prophet. Others believed he was the promised Messiah. Many experienced healing and transformation through his teachings. Mary watched these events unfold. She witnessed the growing influence of her son. She heard stories of miracles. She observed lives being changed. Yet not everyone welcomed Jesus. Religious leaders increasingly challenged him. Opposition grew stronger. Tensions continued to rise. Mary likely understood that difficult times were approaching. The prophecy spoken by Simeon years earlier was moving closer to fulfillment. Chapter 12. A Mother's Heart. Throughout history, countless artists have portrayed Mary as a symbol of motherhood. This image reflects an important truth. Mary experienced many of the same emotions felt by mothers everywhere. She knew joy, she knew pride, she knew concern, and eventually, she would know profound sorrow. As Jesus traveled from town to town, Mary could not always be beside him, yet she remained connected to his mission. She continued to trust God even when